It was the early days after John completed his graduation. He had just moved from his small village to the towering chaos of New York City, with big dreams in his eyes and the pressure of his father's sacrifices on his shoulders. His father, a man of pure honesty, had spent every penny of his hard-earned money to educate John, believing that morals and integrity would take his son far in life. But John had a different view. He believed his father was too old school, and those outdated values were the reason they stayed poor for generations. He wanted success, money, and fast results. But the city wasn't kind in the beginning. With no job, no roof over his head, and no clue what to do, John found himself sitting in a park all day, chewing on a half-stale sandwich, lost in his own thoughts. Just then, a man with a mysterious yet confident presence sat nearby and said, "You seem new in the city." Surprised, John asked how he knew. And the man, Mr. Robert, smiled and explained how the city teaches you to spot people's stories without them saying a word. John shared his story about how he was tired of his father's moral lectures and just wanted to get rich. Mr. Robert, seemingly humble and kind, offered him a cheap place to stay and even helped him get a job. John, desperate and grateful, agreed without a second thought. They arrived at a filthy, cramped neighborhood, but John didn't care. He had a roof, and more importantly, hope. The job, a sales job, but not the kind his father would ever approve of. It involved tricking people into giving their credit card details, draining their money, and then cutting all contact. John, blinded by his hunger for money and the need to prove his father wrong, dove in without question. One day, he got a call from an old woman who mistook his shady company for an insurance provider. She sounded kind, a bit lonely, and explained she had been diagnosed with a tumor and wanted to use her insurance for treatment. To John, she seemed like an old rich lady living alone with her dog. Easy target. He acted professionally, hid his excitement, took all her details, closed the sale, and blocked her the very next second. She tried reaching him again and again, but the company and John simply ignored her. She even left a voice note, cursing him, pleading. But all John could think of was the fat commission he had earned. The company was thrilled with his performance and rewarded him handsomely. That night, John celebrated like a king, drinking, partying, feeling like he'd finally made it. He noticed 2 missed calls from his mother but brushed them off. It was too late, and he'd talk to her tomorrow. The next morning, her call came again. This time, it was an emergency. His father had suffered a heart attack. Shocked, John rushed to his village, and with what money he had, flew his father to a hospital in New York. And that's when karma kicked in. Hard. The doctor handed him the bill, and it was the exact amount he had stolen from that old lady. His hands trembled. His breath froze. He realized what he'd done. But it was too late. His father, the same man whose values he had mocked, took his final breath. And in that silent moment of unbearable regret, John understood. When you cheat someone, the price may not be paid immediately, but it always comes. And sometimes it takes away what you can never get back. Morale. The money you earn by hurting others will never buy you peace. Karma always collects what it's owed.